Hello everyone, welcome to the part 17. So we're gonna go over a rush of little video. So what we need to do right now, it's we did in the past episode how to do like a favorite for a tweet server side, and now we just need to implement that in the front end. So what we're gonna do today is just when I'm gonna click on this little earth icon, I'm gonna add a like to this number optimistic way. So this way, like it will update. Plus, we're gonna just create it and process it inside the DB. So first thing, what we should do, we should first thing jump over the server side. So go over your server. Just first start with everything good. What we're gonna do is just go over your index.js, this one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna uncomment the mock. We're gonna save. We're gonna watch is working in the server side. So I want everything to be right. Perfect. It's working. After that, I'm going to uncomment this line. So this is just for starting the mock. So if it's working now, we should have, one sec, I'm going to remove everything. And now if we do this now, we should go inside the collection. And I think I need to drop this one because we don't have it. Yeah. So we're going to have 3 users and 9 tweets because 3 tweets by each user. So this is the mock what we did. So now we're gonna refresh the simulator. And I get an error. Yeah, I just forget to do something. I need to remove my async storage. So because we didn't do a kind of, if we get a 4.1, we need to call something else. So I'm gonna just check what happened. Yeah, so we get always unitarized. So this is what happened. So what we can do is we're gonna just go over the app.js inside the front end, and just for now, inside the component will mount. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go inside async storage that remove item, and we're gonna just for now. I know it's not the best practice, but just we remove the value. That's it. So that was just this way. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna do this in the future, but for now we're gonna be okay. So I'm gonna just make this thing better to see. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just create the first user really quick. So I'm gonna just put my name as I was a new user to my famous app. So my password gonna be password123, and I'm gonna put my username. I'm gonna sign up, and now it's working. So I have a user. So now if I go back to my RoboMongo, I should refresh, and now in my user, I should have 4 users. And now if I refresh my collection, I'm gonna have my favorite tweet here, who's gonna be empty. So now nobody have like. Perfect, this is what we want. So now the first thing we're gonna do is, as we do always, we're gonna create the mutation for the favorite tweet. So inside the mutation, we're gonna say favorite tweet.js. So we're gonna create a mutation. So as we seen the last one, this is finally what we want. We want to have the ID, the favorite is favorite to be true or false, because we're gonna show the earth is as a red in the next episode, and also we're gonna need to change the favorite con. So it's 0 is gonna be +1. So first thing, we're gonna import a GQL from React Apollo. After that, we're gonna export default like we did on other video. That's it. Now we need to do the mutation. Here that's gonna be favorite tweet. Also, we're gonna have a variable called ID, who's gonna be a type of ID, and this is required. So this way, we know Apollo never gonna send something if we don't pass the ID. Also, after that, we're gonna create the favorite tweet mutation. We're gonna pass the ID by calling the $_ID we just create here at the top. After that, here, what we're gonna do is we want as a return is favorite. We want the favorite con. And after that, we want the ID. Because we need the ID, you can just don't send it, but that's gonna have some change we can do further. So now what we're gonna do, now we need to create this mutation by doing something. So what we're gonna do, remember what we did in the one of the first episodes, is we create the card. So it's gonna be a good way to just plug this card. And we're gonna pass down the props inside the feed call button. Who is the button? This is where we're gonna put the action. So now what we're gonna do, it's inside the feed card. What we're gonna do, we're gonna import a GraphQL library. So to make to connect the GraphQL with this component, like that. After that, what we need to, it's the mutation. So we're gonna import, like I like it's to put my mutation in my query from GraphQL in uppercase, from GraphQL, mutation, and favorite tweet. After that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go at the bottom here, and we're gonna do export default GraphQL. We're gonna put the favorite tweet mutation, like I told you. I don't know why, but Visual Studio Code don't like it. And now we're gonna put here the feed card, like that. The thing is here, I have no action, like for calling this thing. We know with Redux or something like that, we create action, we import action, and we pass it here inside the map dispatch to props. But the thing is here, what we can do is we can create an action right inside the code here, and I think that can make the code kind of cleaner. So this way we just keep track. We just have the code we need inside the component here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a comma curly bracket here, so we can put some option. One of them is gonna be props. So what happened? Okay. Props. Here, I'm gonna have an arrow function, and this props here gonna return an object. So here, as the props, we have access to finally is the props of this component. So we have the own props. So this is the props of this component by default. So inside this one, what we can have is the text, the user, create app, favorite con, etc. Plus we have access to the ID. So this is where we need. Also, you know, by connecting the GraphQL library, we're gonna have access to the mutate. After that, here we can create a function. So I'm gonna call the function favorite. In this function, I'm gonna create the mutate action. And as we did inside the create new tweet, I think new tweet screen, where we did here the variable and the optimistic response, we can do the same. But here I've shown you the way you can do this right inside the component. It would take a lot of line and just like, I think that give you a bunch of code for nothing. You can do this right in the bottom. So here what we're gonna say, it's variable. Here I'm gonna say underscore ID, because it's an object, so we pass the underscore ID, and now I'm gonna call the on props that underscore ID. Like I told you, we have props inside this component, and we have the ID. After that, I can call my optimistic response. And here it's an object. So now it's gonna be almost like we did on the second one here. We're gonna have some type name. We're gonna call the function, and we just say finally what is gonna be the new value. So here I'm gonna say underscore 2x type name, where I'm gonna say it's a mutation. After that, I'm gonna call the favorite tweet function. So that needs to be the same name as you have inside your right there. Here I'm gonna pass that type name, and I'm gonna say I want to change tweet. So remember, this is all that come, and the type name came from the server. We all have called this tweet. After that, we're gonna say the ID is gonna be equal to the own props that underscore ID. After that, we're gonna say favorite con. Now, what we're gonna say is we're gonna say if on props that favorite is favorite. So that's gonna be a props we're gonna pass in further episode, but we're gonna just manage it. We're gonna say on props that favorite con is -1. -1. So if it's 2, that's gonna be 1. If it's 1, that's gonna be 0. And after that, we're gonna say if it's not favorite, so that means we favorite it, we're gonna just say it's favorite con +1 now. So you know, like the same action gonna unfavorite. So when I click here, if it's already favorite, I'm gonna unfavorite, etc. And now here what we can just say is favorite equal to on props that is favorite. Now we can use it because, as you know, inside the home screen, when we pass, sorry, it's gonna be false by default because we don't have it. So that's why. And now this section here, favorite here, I can have access to it inside my props. So I'm gonna do structuring right there. And now inside my feed core button, I'm gonna call an action called on favorite press, and I'm gonna pass it. I'm gonna run a little prettier. And now I just need to go back in my feed core button, take this favorite on favorite press, so that need to be the same name as we pass it as a prop. So I'm gonna just copy right there. And now we go in the button, so the earth, make sure this is the earth, and now I'm gonna say on press, and I'm gonna just call this on favorite press. That's it. If everything is work, we should be able to make it work right now. So what I'm gonna do, it's now if I click, as you can see, now I have the +1, and as you can see, we increment in the server. So now looks like it's working. And just to make sure, if I go to my Robo1 Go, so this is my favorite tweet because I've created a user, and remember we create this favorite tweet collection at the command when we create a user. So each user gonna have one. And now if I open that, I have one element, and this element is right there. And now if I go to the tweet, so that's gonna be the last one. So you see now favorite tweet is 1. So now if I click again, if I refresh and I go here, you see now it's 0. And now if I refresh here, now it's 0 because now I unfavorite this thing. So the server gonna do the job about do I need to unfavorite or not. And for us in the front end, what we're gonna do is we're gonna manage in the next episode how to send is favorite or not in the home screen. This way we can show like a red heart if it's favorite or not. And here when we're gonna do the logic, we're gonna just know if this tweet have 10 likes and I've never liked it. If I click on it, I'm gonna have 11, else I'm gonna have 9. So you see the kind of logic? So I hope you enjoy and I hope you learn a bit. So in the next one, we're gonna jump on the home screen to send if we have liked this one or not. So just make sure it's all working. We can like this tree. I'm gonna refresh just to make sure. And looks like exposed pretty slow right now. Yeah, and now 1, 1, 1. And if I go there, if everything is working, I'm gonna have 3 elements. That's it. So I hope you enjoy, and we're gonna talk in the next episode. Bye.